Hi everyone, this is Todd Harris. Hope you all are doing well. Just going to share a few thoughts that I have regarding the course and reading and finance and saving money in general on college campuses. I don't have any particular concerns about the concepts. I certainly, as Missy said, I do think some of the terms are a little bit different than what I'm accustomed to using, and so they don't really register as quickly as maybe some other terms have. But in general, I can understand the concepts that we're working with and see how they do influence spending and finance on campuses and impact some of the pressures as well. Regarding consulting firms, I certainly think they have their place, but I think they don't really have their place initially. I would really rather prefer to see universities look in other directions in order to try to figure out ways to find efficiencies, figure out ways to improve productivity. I find that, or at least it's been my experience over the 20 years, that the talk of bringing in a consulting firm, even maybe just for a department or a division, seems to produce a sense of fear. Really, because you feel like you're being scrutinized at every level, the smallest of detail, and maybe the firm or the person who's assigned to work with you doesn't exactly understand the nuances of what you're trying to accomplish. I'm thinking about what we're going through right now on college campuses with the FLSA, where we are trying to figure out ways to comply with the new law, and particularly in student affairs, housing, and specifically housing. Sometimes it just feels as though the government has imposed laws on us, which I do understand that they make sense and they support the employee, but there's a lot of detail and a lot of nuance, as I said, and a lot of kind of gray area with student affairs, student life work, and housing work that maybe the people who design the laws don't understand how it would impact us. And I equate that to when a consulting firm comes in and they are really looking from the outside in and trying to understand the tradition and history of the institution, the mission of the institution, the working environment, some of those intangibles that are critical, and that if shaped differently or impacted, you may lose something. So I would almost rather prefer a different approach. And one approach that I've seen work well is doing an internal audit within your own division, for instance. Let's just take student affairs since that's my area. Asking a retired vice president to come in and spend 3, 4, 5 days perhaps interviewing the directors, taking a look at how your spending is impacting students and how it supports your goals and the mission of the institution, looking at the structures of the different offices within the division, and help really make suggestions on ways to improve efficiencies. Sometimes that is a much more collaborative way to help institutions figure out a way to cut costs and improve their productivity and improve what they do. I would much rather prefer to see that happen. Regarding cutting costs, one thing I would really like to see institutions do is an energy audit. I think that most all colleges use too much energy on their campuses, and I don't think we do a very good job of trying to reduce energy costs. And I think most people who work on the campus, and students in particular, don't really have an idea about what the power bills are, or what the water bills are, or even what the insurance costs are. There may be ways to reduce what's being used on the campus in order to reduce cost. Another thing I think could be considered is that I believe that you could probably create dual positions across areas, and as someone else pointed out, the administrative staff could be shared among offices, for instance. Another way I think you could cut some cost is, rather than hiring some employees I think you could utilize student workers and student leaders to supplement some of your staff. I've seen this happen on college campuses, and honestly, it adds a tremendous value to the students and to their work experience and to their understanding of how to operate within an office or a professional environment. Also, all campuses have wonderful facilities, or at least have facilities that are certainly rentable and many times are desirable for the local community. And so just use your facilities to support the community and also to generate revenue. Anyway, I look forward to looking over some of your videos and continuing the discussion. Take care.